gonna have this conversation right now. King Legend Talk. Legend. King Legend Talk. Talk. King Legend Talk. Legend. King Legend Talk. You are now tuned in to King Legend Talks.
What up, everybody? This is your boy King Legend 757, and it's about to go down with another amazing interview with an amazing special guest in the building. And this is the one and only Reece Lache in the building. How are you doing today?
Like, no, I'm playing. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
It's a pleasure to have you here today. This interview here, I'm really looking forward to it. I got to say that you really been working. You've been putting in a lot of work, and there's a lot of people that got a lot of questions for you. And I honestly, I want to know these answers. So are you ready for this interview?
I want to know that. Hey, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure for me to be here. But I want to know the answers too. So yeah.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. But for starters, thank you for your time. Thank you for coming through. It's definitely a pleasure to have you on the platform. You've really been putting in a lot of work. A lot of people need to see what you got to offer out here for Christian hip hop. And then there's a lot more we want to learn about as far as like your testimony, your past, your present, and where you feel God is leading you in the future. So I know you're from Louisiana, born and raised out there. But go ahead and give us a little background about, like your upbringing and things of that nature. How was it as a child?
So, dang, that's crazy. That's a long story.
Yeah, we got time.
Right.
We dig right to it.
So, hey, like you said, born and raised Louisiana. So I'm one of 5 of my mom's kids. I was the second and the middle one. My mom she was 16 when she had my older sister, and then she was 18 when she had me, and then she was 20 when she had my little brother. So just to like lay that out there, like it was tough. It was tough.
Mm-hmm.
Having us, and she was a single mom. Like we all had different daddies, and I wish somebody would come at my mama, but we all had different dads.
Yeah.
So. And she was like, my brother dad was locked up. My sister dad was locked up. Like my dad was, but yeah, so we just, it was definitely tough. But like my mom, I love my mom. Like she tried her best, to make sure we was good.
Absolutely. I can only imagine, with all of that pressure, still trying to hold everything together, man. Like that's a superwoman right there to be able to actually do all of that. I do want to take a moment, shout out to Christ Jr. in the building. Happy birthday to you, bro. I just want to say thank you for pulling up to the interview, and I hope you really enjoyed your day.
Happy birthday, bro.
Absolutely. So yeah, when it comes to the lifestyle that you had growing up, I can only imagine what it was really like, everyone just trying to be as useful as possible, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to make the ends meet with whatever you had. Now, there's something about you that's very special in your childhood. You're really good at shooting hoops. Like, you was a hooper for real.
Hey, man. I be telling people, apparently everybody in CHH is hoopers, but I be telling people when they think it's a game, but it's like, bro, like, I really was like that.
Like, you really was known for playing basketball.
I really was known for that. How you know that?
But I do my homework. I do this.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, bet. No, yeah, I really was. Like, I just told somebody this earlier. Like, I really was a star as a kid. I'll be like, and then on top of that, like, I would hang out at the gym all day. Like when I was playing rec ball, rec ball go on all day on Saturdays.
Yeah.
So and I was like older, so I'm like 5th, 6th grade or whatever. So my game later, but I'll be there from like 9 a.m.
Wow.
From the first game to the last game, and I'm still going crazy. And I'm outside balling while all these games all day from 9 to whatever time the last game. I done been ripping and running. I'm funky. I done balled all day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I was one of them kids too.
So
Like
on the court though, what was you like the best at? Because I feel like
ooh,
everybody got that
ooh,
one thing that was kind of like their signature. The layup,
man,
the 3-point basket, like what was it?
it wasn't like that. I was entertainment.
Okay. Okay.
I was entertainment. It was never like a layup or like I'm better at layups or I'm better at threes. I was the entertainment.
Okay. All right.
So
You gonna have to explain like
yeah.
entertainment. What does that mean? Go ahead for the people that
So
just need a little bit more detail.
yeah. So and when I say entertainment, I mean like in all areas. So like I remember specifically like we were playing like a rival team and the parents get wild and that get the students wild. So this one girl, she went down the court, she hit a three. And everybody like all the people on their side was like so
Okay.
literally we got the ball back. I go down the court, shoot a three, turn around. And
Uh,
everybody go crazy. No, because I got a better one. And this was on accident, but this is like, bro, I'm coming down with the ball, and it was a girl in front of me and a girl behind me,
mhm.
and I didn't even know there was somebody behind me, but I'm just dribbling, and I'm coming down on a fast break, and I cross over like the most simple crossover on the girl in front of me, and they bumped heads. Everybody going crazy. I missed it. I didn't see it. But everybody, like
Wow.
the whole game stopped. Everybody going crazy. A simple crossover, they bumped heads.
Now, do you ever feel that pressure after you do something so spectacular like that you gotta make the basket? Like, is it like an extra level of pressure on you? Because I know, I wasn't like a pro baller or nothing like that, but when I did get on the basketball court, every now and then I might do a pump fake and somebody will jump and lose their feet. And then I'm like, I gotta make this shot because they just look real crazy just now, but I gotta finish it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You ever had does that feel like extra pressure for you on the court? Like if
I
you do something like you just did, you crossed them over, and now you got to drive to the hole, make a layup. Like if
yeah.
you miss it, you just kind of cancel out everything that just happened before.
Well, for one, like you don't miss layups.
You
For
better
one,
not. You know what I'm
you
saying? If
don't
you
miss
do,
layups.
it's a wrap.
But like I don't. I never like I wasn't a thinker.
Okay,
I wasn't like I have ADHD really, really, really bad. Like
gotcha.
really bad. People think they know what that means, but when you say ADHD, people think they know what
Break,
it means until like
break it down to
you
them.
really
Break it down to them for
what
those that don't know.
ADHD.
Yeah.
Oh man, so I hear a lot. Okay, I hear a lot of people say like, man, yeah, I got ADHD too. And I heard one person say like they would finish their work super fast
Hmm.
and then like get in trouble for talking because now they don't have anything to do.
Right.
And like literally with ADHD, bro, you don't finish fast because you're reading the same line over and over.
Gotcha.
It's a focus. It's a focus disorder. Like you literally have a problem focusing.
Hmm.
So you don't finish fast.
So you
Yeah.
when you hear
Attention
that, you're able to
deficit.
pick that out from people who actually know what it is,
Yeah.
versus just
Yeah.
saying it. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense.
It
Now,
made, but that was a big part of my story too, because like, like, like that literally ruined my life. The
mm,
fact that I had ADHD and it wasn't treated, like I couldn't stay in school. I got kicked out of, that's how I ended up in the DMV. Um,
okay,
I got kicked out of school my seventh grade year and moved to the DMV with my aunt and my grandma. And I actually was starting on the varsity team my eighth grade year in the DMV. So I'm in middle school starting on the high school team.
wow,
So
yeah. Well, look, that
yeah,
speaks for itself right there,
and yeah,
for real. Like they don't just let anybody play on the varsity team
yeah.
or in a,
But
you know.
I couldn't stay out of trouble for nothing, man. Like I just
So, what was it
like
about your life that you think now that you're reflecting on it,
mhm.
caused you to get in the most trouble?
um just that like that focus thing, that like not knowing how to I knew I wasn't normal. Like I knew what I wasn't I don't want to say normal because it's not that it's, that I'm not normal, but I just was doing stuff. I just was doing like, you know what I'm saying? I just was doing stuff. It's no way, like and it's no way to explain it. I just be doing stuff, saying stuff.
You like you know it's wrong, but you probably think about it after the fact. But in the moment, it's like you act first and then think about it later.
Something like that. But like I remember days where I would pray before I go to school. I used to pray before I go to school, like, God, please just let me be good today. So I don't want to get in no trouble. And I go to school and get in trouble.
Gotcha.
Every day. Every day.
So when did you first hear about God in the gospel? You know, like when did that come into your life?
So my grandmother was a believer. I mean, is a believer. My grandmother is a believer. So she always, she sowed little seeds here and there. And I think that was a big part of like how I ended up coming to Christ. But from her, definitely as a kid.
Absolutely. Now, having a relationship with Jesus is the heart of all of this. You know what I'm saying? So, like, when it comes to your relationship with Christ, how did that develop over time to get you where you're at today?
Man, that's crazy because I went backwards first because I ended up like not believing in God, like believing like there is no God. There's no way there's a God. If there was a God, my life wouldn't be the way it is, type of thing. You know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But coming to him, it's a strange process because coming to him, I saw a lot. I saw a lot of miracles. I saw a lot of signs. Like I was one of those people that he had to like get my attention. So I saw a lot of stuff that would, I can never doubt him again. But when you come to Christ, you have this like strange fire, this fire, this zeal, this it's like almost like out of control to a certain point where you just on fire. But then throughout the years, you learn to control that fire. Right. You know what I'm saying? If you can imagine like when you light a grill, dang, this is coming to me right now in this moment. Thank you, Jesus. If you light a grill and you just light the grill, you don't know what you're doing. You just spray some
you're gonna burn everything
and you light it. Everything, all the fire just, you know what I'm saying, all over the place, or even just a fire pit. But when you know how to control that fire, it's different, and that's to me like that would explain the process of like how my process of what it's been like for me.
Absolutely,
like just learning to control that fire. Yeah.
So now we're entering the part of the conversation where I feel like it's just necessary to talk about, the state of Christian hip hop. And from your perspective, with your experience in it so far, first of all, when you first got into Christian hip hop, what was that like for you? Because I want to hear about the introduction for you, because what I've learned over time after interviewing a lot of people, they came in with a lot of assumptions, and then they also experienced a lot of different realities in the space once they got in it. So for you, what was your introduction to Christian hip hop as an artist? And then we'll just go from there.
Yeah, and I think I understand when you say you that anyway. So coming, I was introduced. When I got saved, I was having a conversation with my sister. And I was like, man, I can't even rap no more. Because I was trying to rap back then. I wasn't really doing nothing, but I was trying to rap.
Right.
And I had just really was like started like recording songs and stuff like that. And I was like, man, I can't rap no more. And she was like, why not? And I was like, because I'm a Christian now. Like I'm saved now. And she
I like the way you try to actually like whisper, because I'm a Christian now. Like,
yeah. But she was like, just why won't you do Christian rap? And I was like, Like, what? Because like when she said it, and I hear people say it all the time, like it's real. Like when you really come from the world and you hear the term Christian rap, that is like the weirdest thing ever
Yeah.
to hear. For me, when I heard it, I was like, what? Christian
You
rap?
probably thought she
But
was joking, like for
right, yeah,
real.
yeah. But I ended up looking into it. Like I was at the crib one day and it popped in my mind. This was like a week later, and I googled Christian rap and I saw a video of it was Ty Tribbett and The Truth,
Yeah.
and I don't remember what song it was, but they was on stage performing, and I was like, I could do that. Like I'm looking at The Truth and I'm like, man, yeah, like yeah, I could do that, and so that's how I started, and
And real quick, I
yeah.
want people to understand that part too, because there's a lot of people that's on the fence right now, like, man, should I be doing this or should I not be doing this? But just having that layout there, saying that other people are actually doing it, that's so inspirational for new artists to come into the game and be like, man, I can do this too.
Yeah.
Or there is something else out there to where I can still be creative, but do it for Jesus. So I think that's important.
Yeah, no facts. I hope somebody see me one day and like, man, I want to do that. I think it already happened. I think that's already happened. But what I was
Absolutely.
saying, where we
So
at?
yeah, so moving forward, as far as like now that you had that introduction to Christian hip hop, you saw that it was something that you could do. When was the opportunity for you when it first presented itself? Like, all right, I know I can do this, but I'm actually gonna do it. What was that
Yeah.
for you? Like that moment?
I just started doing it, like literally in that moment when I saw The Truth.
Hmm.
After that, like that was it. I started doing
Absolutely. So
it.
now that you started doing it and you're
Mhm.
getting this feedback, did you ever expect it to get here where it's at today?
No, not at all. Not even a little bit. But
Wow.
I did see things. And this is God still showing me things. You know what I'm saying? Like some people, like I know this is where I'm supposed to be.
Right.
And I wish I could show y'all things like I have proof,
Hmm.
solid proof. But I'm gonna tell this story. One day I remember I was sitting outside smoking as a believer, but I was a new believer. Like I was like a month in, 2 months in, I'm smoking.
Right.
And I also came out of homosexuality. And I was thinking of some lyrics in my head about the girl that I left to come to Christ.
Mm.
And so I went inside to get a pen and a pad to write it down. And there was a dictionary that was always on the side of my nightstand because I always just would like flip through the dictionary for no reason. I don't even know why. Just, you hear other rappers say, that that's what's cool to do as a rapper. That's what you do. So that's what I was doing. Like I'm, flip through the dictionary. So I had a dictionary on my nightstand. I went for the dictionary, picked it up, threw it on the bed, turned around, went for the pen and pad. When I turned back around, there was a Bible on the bed. And
Mm.
and the thing is, it could have already like it could have already been a Bible
Hmm.
that I grabbed. But in my mind, it was a dictionary because that's what I picked up. Like this is what I keep here. So you know what I'm saying? This
Yeah.
is what I keep here. I keep a dictionary here. So yeah, I picked it up, threw it on the bed, went turned around, and it was a Bible. And I'm like, okay, God, I hear you. I hear you. So then I started. That's when I started reading the Bible before
Mm.
I write. Every time I write, I would go through the Bible and I would read scriptures first. And to me, that was like a sign. Like if I knew I was picking up the Bible, I would have never picked up the Bible because I was going for the dictionary.
Right. I
Um,
see.
yeah,
So you were actually intending to get the dictionary,
exactly,
but you ended up with the Bible.
exactly.
That's awesome.
So, and after that, like I started reading scriptures before I write. Um,
and that has been helping you on your journey so far as an artist. And do you still do that like even to this day?
Yeah, to this day,
Now,
like I pray before I write because I want something good. Like I want, and God is good. Like God is the creator. So I'll sit right here and I'm like, God, please, like, give me some words, give me something,
right,
God. And
right,
I want what He got.
absolutely. Now, your music is straight fire. Let's just say that. Um, I don't know about anybody else, but when I first heard it, it just grabbed my attention. I was like, "Yo, who is this? This person is dope." You know, like you. Let me explain it like this: there are some people that just make fire music, but then there's that extra level where it just grabs your attention, and you
Mm,
want to hear every word that's being spoken in the song,
mm,
versus just listening to a catchy beat. And so when I heard, lyrics to your song, I saw the passion behind it and I was able to receive the message at the same time. And so I think that's powerful because that's really going to impact people's lives as they're listening to your music. Music is powerful and
mm.
there's an anointing on your music.
Wow.
And I think that really separates you from a lot of other artists. And I'm not just saying Christian hip hop, I'm just saying in general that
Mm,
anointing that is on these songs are breaking chains on people's lives. And
mm,
there are things that people could be going through that you're not even aware of. And then when they hear your song, it's like, man, I feel delivered, like just
yeah,
by listening to it.
yeah,
And they have put it on repeat and they have listened to it over and over and over again because it goes to their spirit.
mm,
And that's what's
mm,
important.
yeah,
And so continue to do that because you're definitely being a vessel for the Lord and he's able to use those talents that he's given to you to help deliver other people. Has there ever been a moment in your life where somebody came up to you, whether it just be a fan or just somebody completely like just caught you off guard and was like, thank you. And then
oh
like what was your
yeah,
initial response? Like how does that feel that first time or think of a moment where that really stood out to you, maybe doing a show or something like that.
man, it's so many at this point. It's so many. It's so much. And I still feel the same feeling every time. Like every
Mhm.
time I get a DM or every time I get a person that um stops me at a show and they're like, man, like you really touched me. It still feel the same. It still
Yeah.
feels the same from the first time till now because to me it's like I don't think the realization have kicked in for me. Like,
Yeah.
and that's just because every time I hear that I'm like me, and even when I hear
Yeah.
things from God like confirming what you just said, I'm like me,
Yeah.
little me, little old me, little old me, little me, little nappy head, little dirty. They used to call me Dirty Red because I was red as a kid and I had like little red hair,
Yeah.
and they like little dirty me, like little me, little dirty red.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it's important for us to also realize we all got a past, right? And with time you grow in wisdom and now you can kind of compare things. Like when you were making music secular versus now, the
Mm.
fruit of it is completely different. And
Oh yeah.
so now that you're able to look at the difference between the two, what words would you say to an individual that still may be struggling with making secular music and they want to do things for Christ, but they just ain't all the way there yet? Like, what words of
Mm.
encouragement could you give that person?
That's tough. That's tough. That's tough because I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even know.
That's hard.
I
That's
wouldn't
it's
know.
a hard
I
question.
wouldn't know. Yeah, it is. I wouldn't even know because I'm not like I'm also not like I'm not I think all people have different callings. And
Hmm.
I'm not like the person that is like, hey, like, man, like you're dope. What you doing, if this is what you want to do, you could do for the Lord. Like that's not even me. Like I'm a I'm a dreamer.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I, I could pray for people. I could
absolutely.
I could speak things that I hear, but
And that's real though. Look, you
I,
keeping it
I
100. That's
yeah,
real.
I ain't the type of person that's like come come to Christian hip hop
Yeah,
because it's not it's you have to have that relationship with God where it's like where God is telling you because you could be a artist in the world,
yeah,
but it don't mean you're supposed to be an artist in the kingdom, and
yeah.
that it don't mean you know what I'm saying. So
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
it's
I'm not
important. I think it's important to always consider the heart. And
yeah,
so that's what God is looking at. He's judging the heart, not the outward appearance. And
yeah,
so when we're doing things and your heart is not in it, you're serving God with your lips. You
mm,
know, and the Bible clearly says they serve me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. And so I
yeah,
think it's the same thing when it applies to music. You know,
mm,
there's a lot of people that right now as we're talking, there are other artists and Christian hip hop that hearts is far from God. And that's just the reality. You know what I'm saying? And there's always going
mm,
to be people that's serving them with their lips. But, you know, if your heart ain't in it, what are we really doing? Do you really care about the souls of these individuals? Or are you just trying to sell out the show? Um,
mm,
and we got to have grace for people through that process. And
mm,
I think that's something that was really hard for a lot of people to understand because people got this self-righteous mentality where
mm,
they've never made any mistakes, they've never had to learn, they've never had to fall short. They was just in the world one day and I was up here and the next day. Like I never
yeah,
had a process. And I
yeah.
think it's important to remind people of that process because
That process is
it's
important.
very important. And, you know, I pray for a lot of artists that have, how can I put it? They just got saved, but they already had
Whew,
the platform.
whew.
That's
Hey, I had
hard.
somebody just like that told me when I said how long it took me to get to where I am today. They was like dang, but they was like trying to be funny on a like it took you that long
Yeah,
type of thing. Yeah, but I'm gonna be here. So I've been here. I watch people come. I watch people go, and I'm still gonna be here
right.
because I went through the process, and I'm still going through the process. I'm still gonna be
Absolutely.
here. I'm gonna
Absolutely.
be here. I guarantee you, I'm gonna be here when you gone. You can
That's
laugh
that's the
you can
way it
laugh all
should
you
be.
want.
God willing,
You
that's
can
the way
laugh.
it should be, you know. And I just want people to think about that, man, because I'm tired of it personally.
Yeah,
I really am. I'm being transparent with everybody listening. I'm really tired of seeing so many people that would rather talk down on another person than pray for them. Because like I have to think about this thing like from the perspective of what Christ would really want from his disciples. You know, and I always
mm,
talk about this on the podcast about the Samaritans that rejected Christ's message. Christ
mm,
rebuked his own disciples because they wanted to call down fire from heaven. And when you think about that, you have to think about, okay, why would he want to rebuke his own disciples when the Samaritans was the ones that rejected the message? And then the heart of what is really going on is that God don't want anybody to perish. So we got to
mm,
care for that person. And as a mature believer, you got to understand where people are at spiritually and what they're
mm,
struggling with. And then
mm.
you got to fight in the spirit and intercede for other people.
That's real.
And that's where we really go to war in the spirit. It's a spiritual warfare going
That's
on. And
real.
there's people that at different levels fighting different devils, and we got the same Jesus, and we gotta work together
That's
in unity.
real.
Um, and I just want to encourage people, if you truly care about your brother or your sister in Christ, pray for them. Getting on
That's real.
your platforms, having a whole board meeting, the cancel culture,
Oh my
like all of
God,
that.
bro.
I just
Oh
don't
my
get it.
God.
That is weird to me. That is super weird to me. But I guess it's to each his own. That gets you more views. That
It
gets you more clicks.
is what it
That gets you
is.
more shares. But I'm gonna pray for you too. You know what I'm saying? What is your take on that as an artist though? Because I know, man, I've seen some crazy, crazy stuff and I'd be like, really? Like this what we doing? And it's wild the stuff that people put out there. And it's like, but they still be getting other people to listen to them. Like at what level of discernment do you got going on when you just let people say anything and don't fact check? I'm just saying. So like for you, when you get these different allegations against yourself as an artist, what from the perspective of an artist, how do you handle that situation?
I don't handle nothing like that because like you can't cancel me. Like you can try to cancel me, bro. You can't. I can't be canceled because you didn't order me.
Facts.
Ooh, that was good. Oh,
Facts.
that was good. You didn't order me. You didn't order nobody. Like God ordered me. Like God brought me here. You know what I'm saying? You could do or say whatever you want to. You have no power, and that's the thing. That's the thing. A lot of artists, Christian hip hop artists, stop giving people more power than they have. They don't have. There's people that the people you think have power that could cancel you and you tippy toe around them. They have no power. They have no power.
That's real. That's real.
A lot of us artists, like, we love to tippy toe around people who we think are way up here because if I do something or say something that this person don't like, then they could do this. They don't have that kind of, like, why do you give people that type of power?
Yeah.
Like, why do we give people that type of power over God? They think they have that type of power, and that's weird because you're supposed to be a believer and you're supposed to know that God is where it comes from.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's real. It's a lot of hypocrites that come out and approach Christianity just like the Pharisees. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of modern day Pharisees out here. And one thing I know Jesus did not stand for was a hypocrite at all. And like the Pharisees, they had political power, and that was their interest. They were trying to gain the influence of the people, and they would even go as far as making the law more about following rules than what God actually wanted. And they were trying to shift people's minds where they put themselves on a pedestal. But this is one thing I was thinking about the other day. The Pharisees approached the law with a lie, but then the truth came, which was Jesus Christ. And they couldn't trick Jesus out his position because Jesus was like, before Abraham, I am. And so they was like, man, we can't control him with the law like we can everybody else. He's dangerous. We got to get rid of him. But even still, they were being influenced by the enemy. And at the same time, the devil didn't even know God had other plans. This was
literally my plan.
Literally his plan.
Like, yeah.
So,
like, I wanted you to do this.
Yeah, so
I knew you would do this.
I say all that to say this, though. God knows best. In every situation that you're possibly in, we like to think, man, I got to figure this thing out. Nah, relax. Pray about it. Seek God, and he will make provisions as long as you're seeking the kingdom of heaven. And I think that's very important. Now, for you and your life as an artist, what words of advice would you give to somebody that's new as a new artist? Because I feel like wisdom is learning from somebody else's mistakes. What mistakes have you made as an artist that you're willing to share today on the podcast?
I got a couple things, man. For one, don't be so eager to think you're ready. Okay? Be content, because contentment, these two things go together, and it's coming to me right now. These two things go together. Be content with where you are, wherever you are, in whatever season you're in. And don't be so quick to think you're ready. Because what happens is, when you think you're ready, for me, I'm gonna speak for me. I've been thought I was ready. Like, I've been thought I was hurt. I've been thought, like, I'm like, yeah, like, these people ignoring me, and I'm gonna keep going because, like, but sis, you just wasn't there yet. You wasn't there yet. And I always tell myself, like, I always thank God, like, God, thank you for not giving me what I wanted when I wanted it, because I would not have been able to sustain it. I would not have been able to keep it. I was not ready. I was not ready. And as artists, that's what we do. Like we come into Christian hip hop, we think we ready. Like, oh yeah, like I'm dope, I'm this, all these people ignoring me. Then you start getting your feelings because you're not content with where you at because you want more and you're just not ready for it.
Yeah.
So don't be too quick to think you're ready. Like I'm still not ready for a lot. I'm not even at my prime. I always say that. I'm not even at my prime. It's a lot of stuff that I'm not ready for. And I'm working today. Like I'm struggling today working to get ready for things that a lot of people think I'm already ready for. Like people look at me and they think like, yeah, like Reece got it all figured out. No, she don't. No, she don't.
Yeah. That's
No,
real.
she don't.
Still learning, man. And you just made me think about what the sermon was about last Sunday at church. And we were talking about Joseph and how when he was locked down, he had this dream though. And he's trying to figure out why is his life not going according to this dream that God has given him. But through that process that we go through, God is trying to teach us things to get us prepared for that dream. And so he will show you the destination, but not give you all the details. Those details require you, to go through things and have those experiences in your life. And we got two ways we can look at whatever situations we are in our life. And the way he broke it down was you can be an inmate or you can be an intern. See, the thing about Joseph, while he was locked up, he was in charge of everything that was running around in that prison. He was in charge of all of it. He had leadership positions, but he was an intern. He could have been in that situation and said, look, I throw in the towel. God didn't give me the dream. I guess it wasn't meant for me. I'm going to sit down here and I'm going to wait and I'm going to just crash out. But sometimes you got to actually look at your situation, assess it right now, the things that you're going through in your life. Are you in this position to learn something in this season or be tested? Because that's the other part to it. Because there's people that's going to come in your life, and this is also something from the message. I always got to give credit to the messenger as well. So this is also something that came from the message. It's like there's people that's going to come in your life just like hopping on a bus. They're only there to get on and get off, get in your life and get out your life. And they're either there to test you or teach you. And so which one is involved in your life right now? Is this person teaching you something right now, or this person testing you to see what you learn and you're ready to go to the next level?
Bro, it's everything, bro. Yeah. This season for me is crazy. If when I come out of this, God, whatever you got for me after this, if it ain't that, because this season is crazy. This season is crazy. I got people. I got the people testing me back to back. I got people. Man, it's crazy.
People don't talk about that pruning season. People don't talk about pruning.
You better be quiet.
I'm just saying.
Be
people
quiet.
Don't talk about it.
Oh my God.
I've been through pruning myself.
You've been stalking me or something.
No, this is just reality. This is what every real believer is going to go through a pruning season so you can produce more fruit for the kingdom.
Bro, cut it out. Okay, so since we here, I'm about to leak something. Because you said it, so now I gotta leak it.
Go ahead.
Because I feel like this is revelation from God, and it's confirmation. Like you speaking for real. You speaking right now. So I've been working on releasing a project. If y'all ever heard of the store Bloomingdale's?
Okay.
I'm working on a project. I'm switching, like wordplay on that and calling it Blooming Tales. And it's basically like me not really telling the story, but me like going through the process of what I'm going through right now, this season that I'm going through right now. And I'm speaking about like all the things, but God has been giving me little like messages every day. Well, not every day, but every other day. He's just been giving me words, and I'm gonna just like sum this one up. But I started talking about how most of our grandparents would like work in the garden. I know for my grandmother, she used to work in the garden right before spring, because she would be in there like clipping and cutting and pruning her flowers, getting them ready right before spring. And for me as a kid, I'm like, it ain't even that serious. Like, why you? It's not. It's just flowers.
Right.
It's just flowers. Like, they're gonna grow. It is what it is. But and then to give y'all the definition of prune, to prune, it says to cut off or cut back parts for better shape or more fruitful growth.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then I put like anyway. So this whole project, I'm talking about pruning, I'm talking about the blooming, I'm talking about all this stuff. So it's crazy that you said that, and I'm telling you what I'm going through. I'm telling you I'm going through this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm telling you that I am going through this thing where it's like I'm getting tested, and the things that I would usually like fall for, like I'm not falling for it this season, and it's crazy to me.
You know, I got a homie of mine, his name Ray Duggar, and
That's the homie. That's the homie.
yeah, that's my brother for real. Mm-hmm. And he got this song where he says, "You can tell by my response I'm really Christian." And you can look at your life how you would have responded a couple of years ago, and you look at things now and say, "Man, that's God. There ain't nothing but God right there." And that's when you know your progress too, though, because you've been tested. Yeah. You know, you've been able to exercise your faith and your reality, and that's how you really know the fruit of a person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of time people think when the Bible says you'll know them by their fruit, they think they're talking about your physical works, when really it's talking about the character that you have. When under pressure, do you respond like yourself, or do you respond like Christ?
Bro, it's this. Look, this is what I typed all this stuff, by the way. Like, it says, if you're finding, after I gave the definition of porn, said if you're finding yourself in a constant battle in this season, no matter what you're facing, this is a good time to be mindful of, one, how do these things make you feel when people say stuff, when people do stuff? How does this make you feel? And then how does it make you want to respond?
Right.
Because if you're mindful of that, then you can control it.
Come on, that's the truth.
And then it says, and then allow those things to fall off, because you won't need them where you're getting ready to go. It's the pruning, like
that's everything. If nobody really caught what we're really talking about, it's just that basically, if we had to summarize, you're going to go through things as a believer. That's a for sure thing. As a believer, as a child of God, you're going to go through things. But no, you're not going through it alone. God is always with you. When you get tested in the classroom, the teacher is always there. Don't get it twisted. You're not getting tested and nobody's around. It's a controlled environment for you to be able to learn and grow and get to the next level. It's for your own good. So when God allows the enemy that tries to do things for your harm, he's going to turn it around to be for your good, because you're going to learn a lesson in the process. You're not going to catch an L. We already got the victory. But you're going to learn a lesson that's going to help you help others. And that's what it's all about. You know, that wisdom that you get as you continue to grow and mature in your faith, you're actually learning things to help other people where they're at in their process. That's why when people go to the darkest places in their life and God pulls you up, he gets all the glory, because you was blind and now you can see. But the thing about when you learn, it's like Harriet Tubman in a way. When you learn the way, you got to come back and help other people get free. And that's what's important. And that's our whole goal. We're the salt of the earth. We're supposed to be the reflection of Christ to others. And as we continue to mature in this walk, we've truly become ambassadors for Christ. So I want people to really understand that. And it's very important that you read your Bible, because that is the source of where we're going to get how we do this walk the right way. If you don't read the Bible and you just only hear about the Bible, you're not going to understand what's real from what's fake. So you got to really get in your word, study to show yourself approved, and really just be intimate with God at the end of the day. So I do want people to grab that. But really quick, because I know we can talk. We've been up here for a minute, but it's been an amazing interview with you. But I do want people to know, what are you working on right now? Any new drops coming soon? Like, let us know what you can. I see you. I mean,
I know
you already kind of
already
let us
leaked.
know
I
you
done
got
already
stuff
leaked it.
cooking.
I done already leaked it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, be ready for that. Bloomington. It's,
yeah.
it's,
I
it's,
can't wait for it. I think it's gonna be an amazing
oh
thing.
man, this is definitely it's the best thing I've ever done. This is the best
Wow,
thing I've ever done.
wow. You
The
putting pressure
sound,
out there
the
now.
the sound is, bro. It's like heaven.
Mm. That's something to think about. Like
Oh,
when I
for
think
real
about you as an artist, I was thinking about when you first started, you know, you say you were hardcore, you didn't sing, you was just
though.
like you was just
I was
hey, that's what it
a
was at
rapper.
that time.
I was a rapper.
You got to a place where you grew as an artist and you started to sing. Even when somebody might have said anything negative, it didn't stop you. You kept continuing to grow. And
Mm-hmm.
as you continue to develop as an artist, it has really become something major
Yeah,
of a part of who you are as an artist.
crazy.
Did you ever imagine it getting to this place where it's at today, where now it's almost expected of you? Like it just flows together so perfectly.
What to sing
Yeah, yeah,
or?
like the way you do it, it's like
Mm,
you don't just do like one thing. It's like you got a variety to go with, and
mm,
it's perfect. I think it's a
mm.
good balance.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
What was the
So
question?
so as
Oh,
far as you singing in your songs right now,
mm.
is that something that we can expect more of in the future, or is it more like you just gonna have to wait to see?
Nah, it's that balance still there. The balance is going. I think the balance gonna always be there because I think that's me. I
Yeah,
think that's me. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I got a couple of quick questions I want to ask you really quick. When it comes to just like fun questions.
Okay.
So if you could pick, and you can't pick Jesus because he with us all the time, but in the Bible, if you could pick
Mm,
any person mentioned to hang out
mm,
with for a
mm,
whole day,
mm,
who would it be, and what
mm,
would you ask them?
mm. Ah, any person. I can't say Jesus. That's corny. Um, I would probably say Paul because to me, like Paul is the most wise person. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then he had that background that really like I come from the world.
Yeah,
Now I'm going crazy for Christ. So I would say
yeah,
Paul. And I would have a lot of questions for Paul. Um
yeah.
I would ask him what his process was like coming from, you know what I'm saying? Coming from the world and then coming to God, and you know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, he went
Like,
through a lot. I mean, at one point, people even
no, yeah,
fasted until
yeah,
like they was like, we gonna fast until we get his head,
yeah,
like till he's dead.
yeah.
Like
Facts.
that's pressure.
That's
I ain't
crazy.
never seen nobody that dedicated to kill somebody. Like, yo, we not
Man,
gonna
bro.
eat.
Hey, hey, it's a good thing we only have to deal with that like metaphorically. Cause,
Right.
cause metaphorically, like, man, they be coming from my head too. He be coming from my head, but
Yeah,
but
that's
it's different.
dedication
That's
right there.
different. That's different. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, it was Paul, definitely Paul.
Now, now that's um that a lot of people is definitely saying Paul. I saw that in the comments too. So a lot of people is
Mm,
definitely feeling the same way about that. Now, what was the biggest risk you ever took in your life?
mm, biggest risk.
And it don't even
Biggest
have to
risk.
be as an artist, it can
Ooh,
just be in general.
and it's crazy. I would say becoming an artist,
Mm,
becoming a rapper was the biggest risk. And I'm gonna post it. I probably post it later. I'm try to post it. I'm gonna try to remember. But a couple years into being an artist, like I was working, but I mean at the time I wasn't working.
mm,
But as an art, I wasn't as big as I am, so I had to have a job type of stuff, take care of myself.
right.
And like I didn't have a job at the time, and it was like driving me crazy because I couldn't find a job. No, nobody was hiring me bro. Nobody was hiring me.
Wow.
And I remember crying. Like I put my computer down. I'm on the job website at the time. It was Snagajob was the Indeed back then.
Yeah.
And I was on Snagajob, and I put the computer down, and I just started crying. And I'm talking to God, and I'm going crazy, like, God, like, please, please, I need something, God, please, like, if you hear me, if you real, I need something. I cannot live like this. And I'm going I'm crying to God. And when I was done, I got back on my computer, picked up my computer, and on the top of the website, the job site, there was a banner at the top with my face on it, and it said my name, and it was a Reverb Nation.
Oh, wow.
You remember Reverb? Y'all remember Reverb Nation? It was a Reverb Nation banner of me on the top of the website. I'm gonna post it later for y'all on the job website. Like, you see me here looking for jobs, and then on the top it's a picture of me.
Wow.
With my music link.
Wow.
And that was the craziest thing ever. But I knew in that moment, but I always knew, like, again, like, God always showed me that this is what I'm supposed to do. And there's a difference when God calls you to do something, and sometimes people just do stuff.
Yeah, because I want to do it, but it's like when God calls you to do something, this is what I also learned. When God calls you to do something, it is not uncommon for you to run from your calling.
Right, and that's how they'll be the people that be in the way, though.
Yeah,
the people that God didn't call, those be the ones that be in the way. For real, I'm so serious. They be in the way of the people that's called. Like, go somewhere.
That's true. Because, you know, if they're not called to do it and they're doing it anyway, that means there is something they're called for. It's just not that.
Yeah. And so now you in the wrong lane doing the wrong thing, and you really in the way.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because now you doing this stuff. But anyway, but yeah, like, from that moment I knew, and people spoke it. Like, I've had it prophesied to me before I even knew what a prophet was. And I this is a baby believer. I've never seen a prophet.
Yeah.
And I went to church with one of my friends, and the lady called me to the front and was like, your music is words of warfare to the people of God. I tell that story all the time, but I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what warfare meant. I didn't know what none of that meant.
Right.
But then you see me now as an artist, and I have songs like All Love, and the songs that are like heart gripping, and then I'm crying to God, you know, throughout all these years, because I've gone through this very challenging process. But where you see me at now, like, this was the most challenging thing I've ever done. Right. So when I in 2019, while I was going through the most challenging thing I've ever gone through, I was crying to God, and I was like, God, why am I always fighting? Why is it always something? If you're real and this is your world, why is it always something? Like, why am I always going through stuff? And then the words clicked to me from 2014, whatever year it was, those words. Your words, your music is words of warfare to the people of God. And I understood what the word warfare meant for the first time. Right. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna go through all this stuff. You're gonna go through all these tests, all this stuff, but it's for a good cause.
Absolutely. Now,
like,
I want to touch on something.
My bad.
No, you're fine. I want to touch on something really quick. Okay. There was one part in your life where you wanted to go to school. I'm not sure if you're still in school or anything like that, but you were learning to be like a counselor for kids.
I went to school. I went to school for counseling. Yeah.
And you learned through that process that, hey, you needed to go to therapy for some things. Yeah. And I think that's so cool, because at the same time, while we're trying to learn to how we can help others, we start to learn more about ourselves. And one of the questions I got for you about that is, like, what was something that stood out to you that made you say, man, I need to go to therapy? What was that, like for you, that process?
I'm trying to figure out where did you get all this information? Where is this information coming from?
I do
That's
my
crazy.
homework. This is what I do.
But yeah, it was just the classes in general, man. When you sitting in these classes and you're being taught how to analyze feelings and emotions and things that other people are going through, you start to realize like, hold up now, like
Mhm.
this is talking about me, you
Right.
know. So yeah,
Can you
it was just
share with us something that stood out to you that you were able to get help and get through?
mm, um um mm, let me see. Trying to think.
It could be anything, like just something. It could be something small that through therapy you learn how to deal with it,
Yeah.
and that you can
Mhm.
share with us or someone else that
Mhm.
could be struggling with something similar, and
Yeah.
based on what you've
Um,
learned, how to help them get through it.
um, even so the thing is like even the process of these things is crazy. Like I have a lot. I mean, we all do. We
Hmm.
especially if you grew up like poor, single mama, all that.
Right.
So for me, one of those things was like family, or like growing up the way I did, I didn't realize that, and a lot of people don't realize that it's not normal. You
Mm.
know,
That's
like
deep.
like yeah, like I heard my sister said to me one day, she was like, it wasn't even that bad, and it's crazy because it was,
Mm.
but because it was so normal where we was at, and everybody in the hood doing bad, everybody
Right.
in the hood doing bad, but I left, I went to VA,
Yeah.
and I saw something different. I saw what normal looked like.
Man, That's that's real, man. That's like bars at the same time. I'm like, when you really think about that, you can apply that to so many different things in life. Whatever we're used to is our norm.
Yeah,
And when you don't step outside of that box to see something different, that's all you know.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And so, I definitely can relate to that in a lot of ways, actually, because there are situations in my life where it looked like, man, this is every day. Like, what you tripping
normal.
about?
Yeah, yeah,
Just like
yeah.
for an example, someone getting shot. Man, people get shot
Hmm.
every day. Like, why are
Yeah,
you tripping? You hear a
yeah,
gunshot go off, you ready to never come back to the neighborhood. Like, well, that
yeah.
happens like every 20
Hey,
minutes.
yeah.
So that's not normal though. That's like being in a war
Hmm.
zone and
That's
you don't
real.
even put one and two together.
Because as kids, when we heard gunshots, we was trying to see who it was. Like,
Yeah,
oh, who that is? That must be like some of us knew, like we knew, like, oh, this. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Right. And that's not normal, but
That's
that can
it's not
become
normal.
normal for a lot of people.
It's
So,
not normal. And also like where I'm from is not like crazy like that. But
yeah,
when it is crazy, it's like because I'm born raised in the hood. All the drug dealers, all like my cousins, these my people.
yeah.
But when it is something, everybody, dang, I just made it normal again. Go ahead, because I was about to say like it wasn't like bad for real, but it was just I'm
So,
thinking because I know these people, it was different, but it's like,
so, so
never mind.
step one, recognizing that it's not always
Yeah, it's
normal.
not normal.
But
Yeah.
step two, what do you do next? Like, how do you get past that once you realize it's
Um.
not normal? See,
Um.
I'm trying to help
um,
somebody else out get us some free therapy right now.
yeah. So for me, and I try to like weird not in therapy. I try to speak for myself.
Right.
For me, for me, I honestly, I don't even remember what you just asked me.
So once you
You said,
recognize it's not normal,
I'm sorry.
once you recognize it's not normal, what is step two? Like getting through
Mm,
this
mm,
process.
mm, mm. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say the truth. For me, step two was just never going back. Step two was just never going back. Step
got
two
you.
is just never going back, bro. I'm in this.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, spiritually speaking, I would just say pray about it. You
Hmm.
know, there's nothing that God can't deliver you from. Um,
Yeah.
and He's broken the chains of everything the enemy ever tried to put up against you already.
Hmm.
So it's about
Yeah.
tapping into the Holy Spirit and really seeking God for those things we struggle with.
Hmm.
I believe everybody's unique.
Hmm.
Everyone's might have a different response to different circumstances.
Hmm.
Um, but God is going to help you through the process. You may have to just put all your trust in Him
Hmm.
100% of the time. And I think that's universal for how we process things. But I think it's also important to recognize that it's okay to go to a therapist because a
Hmm.
lot of the times, especially in the community, in the Black community, you know, hey man, figure this thing out on your own. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? You don't need to talk to nobody about it. But I can't tell you how many people do more damage to themselves by trying
Yeah.
to figure out it all on their
Yeah.
own. Um,
I still do that though.
yeah,
Like I'll be talking to the therapist and I'm telling her something and she saying something and I'll be like, nah, I'm a do it my way.
yeah,
So yeah, I figure it out.
yeah.
I figured out.
You got to
I
talk
still do.
things through,
Yeah.
because people are able to see things from a different perspective. For an example, you too close sometimes to see what is actually going on. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm just using this as an example, I'm not sponsored by 7-Eleven or Big Gulp, y'all. But if this is too close, you can't see what it say.
You don't know what
But
it is.
somebody
Yeah.
from a different perspective, maybe on the outside
Hmm.
looking in, can show you exactly what's happening. And it's just like that when it comes to our life sometimes. It's somebody that's not involved with your situation that may be able to sit back and say, look, man, I've seen this happen 100 times, different other people, but same situations down to the detail. And they're able to give you advice to get through those situations. So
Yeah.
just something to think about, y'all. But look, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for coming through. We really do appreciate you. And keep doing everything you're doing for the kingdom.
Yep. Appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
Appreciate y'all for tapping in.